Did you know that LinkedIn is 277 times more effective at generating leads than Facebook and Twitter, according to HubSpot? So do you have a LinkedIn lead generation strategy? If you don't, you're missing out on one of the most incredible platforms to connect with clients. And look, I get it. A lot of people give up on LinkedIn. They're not sure how to use it effectively, but I promise that if you follow the principles I'm going to share with you, you can generate a ton of money from LinkedIn. Hi, I'm Jessica Yarbrough, business strategist for coaches and consultants, and I show them how to sell and scale ultra high-end services using the platform of LinkedIn. I personally have generated 7 figures from LinkedIn alone, and I've helped my clients generate 5 figures, 6 figures, even one client generated a 7-figure deal right off LinkedIn. So whether you're a business coach looking for more clients or a management consultant looking to land big deals, LinkedIn is an absolute goldmine. Don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell so you know when each of my new videos drops. Now let's dive into how to use LinkedIn to get clients. All right, first you need to start by having an amazing profile. So you want to optimize your LinkedIn profile. Your LinkedIn profile is your landing page, and in many cases, this is going to be the first time someone is interacting with you. If you have a great profile, they're going to be encouraged to look, to read more, and to take that next step with you, whether that's joining your email list or booking a call or even directly buying a product or service. If you've neglected your LinkedIn profile, they're going to very quickly click away. So starting with optimizing your profile is really, really important. When we talk about optimizing your profile, that means optimizing everything from your profile picture, making sure that it is professional, to having a compelling cover photo. I like to use a nice professional photo with some text overlaid on top, to having those SEO keywords embedded throughout so that you're ranking, like your profile is searchable for the terms that you want to be found for. You also need to have compelling, persuasive copy in your about section. Having your work experience updated, having LinkedIn recommendations so that you're showcasing your client results, right? There's all kinds of facets to optimizing your LinkedIn profile, and it is an essential step to attracting clients on LinkedIn. By the way, if you'd like to know more about optimizing your profile, you're gonna love the video I created on the top 5 LinkedIn profile tips for 2022 for entrepreneurs. You can check that out. The link is pinned in the comments below. The second key to getting clients on LinkedIn is to have an audience. I can't stress this enough. You have to have a pool of people who are watching you. They're following you. They're paying attention to what you have to say so that you can build that trust and rapport, and then they'll naturally want to take the next step and book a call with you. This is really key. I can't tell you how many people come to me and they say they're struggling with getting clients on LinkedIn, and it all comes down to their network. And when I look at their network, they either have a really low number of followers or it's low quality. So if you have 500 or 1,000 followers on LinkedIn, it's going to be hard to attract a consistent flow of leads to your business. At the same time, if you have a ton of followers, if you've been focusing on growing your network just for vanity numbers, then it's going to be hard to attract clients as well. Because what happens is you'll have a bunch of people following you, but maybe they're not your ideal clients. So why would they book a call and buy from you? So you need to be very intentional about who you add to your network. But you do absolutely need to add people to your network. The first step is, building your ideal audience, and you need to first identify who you want to go after. And this is why I love LinkedIn more than any other social media platform out there, is because LinkedIn allows you to drill down deep into the data and to actually attract the decision makers that you're going to connect with. So understanding who they are, whether that's what their job title is, are they CEO or VP or owner, to understanding what size company you're going after, if you're marketing to organizations, all of these things are really, really powerful. On LinkedIn, you can even target by location. You can target by people if they're active on social media. Maybe they've been mentioned on LinkedIn. Maybe they've recently changed jobs or they're regularly posting on LinkedIn. This is a really, really cool search feature on LinkedIn because it not only allows you to connect, identify, right, who those decision makers are, but to find out who's active on the platform versus checking in once a year. So it's a really, really powerful first step to first know who you're going after. And then the second step is to go out there and actually build it. And you can use something really amazing like LinkedIn Sales Navigator to drill down on the data that I was just mentioning. Once you have the data, the next thing you need to do is focus on how you're going to outreach to these people. And what I want you to keep in mind is that you don't want to become that spammy, icky, salesy, pushy person in your outreach efforts. And this is really key for understanding your audience, because the same way that maybe you'd market to a business coach or a life coach is going to be vastly different than how you would market to a CEO of a $100 million company. So the spray and pray tactics aren't necessarily going to reach. Neither are outreach messages that are based on false promises, like telling someone, hey, watch my webinar that's live, and it's not live, it's pre-recorded. That sort of thing just doesn't land well on LinkedIn. And you're gonna turn those potential prospects off really quickly. So you wanna build your audience, but know that you can do it with integrity, and you can do it with leading with value, and really plan your outreach efforts to make sure that you're optimizing it to get the most bang for your buck. The most people saying, yes, I'm interested, leaning in and taking that next step with you. By the way, if you're ready to master the art of LinkedIn lead generation, be sure to check out my masterclass. It's the same process I walk my clients through that has literally helped generate millions of dollars for them collectively. So be sure to check out the link pinned in the comments below. The third step to generating clients on LinkedIn is to have expert positioning. Now, this is about 90% of coaches and consultants that are struggling when they come to me on this LinkedIn platform. They have what I call weak positioning. And so when you think about positioning, think about how you're perceived online. Are you perceived as an expert? Are you perceived as a peer? And this is really essential, because if you're on the peer-to-peer level, no one's going to hand you a lot of money to solve an urgent problem for them. And this is important if you're trying to sell ultra high end. If you're selling low ticket, it's not as relevant. But if you want to sell to high end, you've got to shift your positioning so that you're perceived as a true expert, as a mentor, as someone who has the solution, who has that knowledge and skill set that can help your ideal client solve their problem. If so, they're going to be quick to raise their hand to work with you. So it's really important, and you can think about it like an elevator. A peer-to-peer is akin to, let's say you get on an elevator and you get off at the same floor, versus a peer-to-mentor, you get on the elevator with them and they take you straight to the top. So we want to create that expert positioning. We want to strengthen your positioning, and you can do that in one of several ways. You can do it through great messaging, great branding, and great credibility. Before I share the fourth and final step to getting clients on LinkedIn, I want to talk about a common trap that many coaches and consultants find themselves in, and that's the trap of the generalist. Think of this as the Jack or Jill of all trades and master of none, and this typically keeps you stuck at 100 or 150K. The next level up is specialization, and a lot of people get stagnant here. And these are the coaches and consultants that come to me making 150 to 350, sometimes more at the top end. So these are two of the four different categories that I teach in a concept called the ladder of influence. And the key takeaway I want you to understand is that if you want to grow your impact, if you want to grow your income, then you need to be able to successfully ascend up the ladder of influence. So if you want to understand what this process is and assess where you're at, right, then I highly recommend you check out my free 33-page guide on the ladder of influence. It'll help you grow your influence and authority. The link is pinned in the comments below. The fourth and final step to generating clients on LinkedIn is to have compelling, persuasive copy and building that expert content. Did you know that LinkedIn drives 46% of all social traffic to B2B sites? It's also considered the most credible social media content platform. So building expert authority in the form of content is essential to generating clients on LinkedIn. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of focusing on step 2 that I shared, build their audience, without doing step 4 of creating content. Or they do the opposite. They create content without building their audience. And the real magic comes in the marriage of both. Because you don't want to create content when no one's going to see it, and you don't want to build an audience with no content for them to see. So you need to do these things simultaneously. You need to identify what type of content is relevant for your audience. I can tell you that by scrolling your LinkedIn newsfeed, you're probably going to be bored quickly. A lot of LinkedIn users are using generic or boring content. Don't do this. People are going to scroll right past you. And I get that LinkedIn's a very different platform than, say, something more interactive like Facebook. but that doesn't mean that it's any less valuable in terms of content. So you want to take the time to put out content that is compelling. You want to make sure that your messaging is true and that it's aligned and it is very clear that you're the very best person. You understand where your clients are at, you understand their pain, you know how to take them to what they want to achieve. And then when it comes to determining what type of content you're going to create for your audience, think about this. Your LinkedIn content should do a variety of things. It should educate your audience on who you are. It should educate them on your solution. You need to show them that you have a way out of the pain that they're experiencing. You understand their problem. You know how to solve it. You know how to motivate them. It should inspire them. It should even trigger some people. A lot of people are afraid to trigger their audience. And I can tell you hands down that the posts that I write that are the most triggering, they may not always get the greatest engagement, but they often get a lot of book sales calls because I'm speaking directly into my ideal client's innermost thoughts. I may be even making them a bit uncomfortable, but I'm sharing the reality, and it's basically like holding a mirror and reflecting back their issues that they're struggling with. So this is important. Don't be afraid to use some trigger in your content in order to motivate them into action to change their life. And these people, like I said, they may not comment, they may not like your post, but they might send you a private DM, they might send you an email, or just suddenly show up on your calendar. And when you're talking to them in your sales conversation, they're gonna say, that post you wrote, that really got to me because that is what I was going through, and you're speaking the truth that no one else in my feed is speaking to. So having the right content, I can't stress this enough, that building that expert content is key. And not only putting out content, but your overall message throughout all of your assets, whether that's a printed asset or your LinkedIn profile or your website, it all should be congruent. You should be sharing a seamless message. The other thing you want to look at is defining where you sit on the spectrum of influence. Like, how polarizing are you going to be? And this really comes down to who you want to show up as, like the influencer or even the micro influencer on LinkedIn. So really defining who you are, who your audience is, and what your values are, that'll help you shine the light on what types of content you're going to share and know, where are you going to take a stand? Like, put your stake in the sand and say, this is who I am and this is what I believe. And this is all part of having great messaging. Now, this wraps up my video on how to use LinkedIn to get clients. If you enjoyed it, be sure to drop a comment below and also check out my other videos that showcase how to use LinkedIn to grow your audience and get clients. Until next time.